Hello everyone and welcome to the third race of the season for ILR Tier 2 Season 4. We're at the Chinese Grand Prix this week and normally I'd have Thomas alongside me today for the commentary, but unfortunately once again he isn't here. He's got a problem with his internet and his Xbox Live, so he cannot get online currently. So it's only me once again like it was last week for the commentary for this race. But whilst we try and get this race going. Right now, we're a little bit behind in terms of the schedule. But we have got the majority of the drivers in the lobby as it stands. So we'll be preparing to go into qualifying any moment. Anyway, so let's talk about last time out in Bahrain. So we had F1 Maestro, a debut for him at Bahrain. He actually went on to win that race, and he's done a superb job for himself. But let's look at the championship as a whole. It's really important. The guy who's leading the championship is Chris Jones. He's leading the championship. He's got 30 points in the bag. He hasn't had a win this season, but he's been really consistent. He's been in the top 5 for the first 2 races of the season. And he currently has 30 points to his name. He's 2 points ahead of the championship compared to Mizzy F1, who had a very strong, again, top 5 in both races. He came 5th in Australia, 2nd in Bahrain. We've got Brumson and P3 in the championship. Again, another Ferrari. The Ferrari boys are doing a fantastic job in the Constructors' Championship right now. They have 2 great drivers who are consistently doing well, getting top 5 finishes every single race and being there with each other. And he's currently 3rd Brumson in the championship, and he's actually 3 points behind. He's got 27 points to his name, so very tight at the top so far. And then in 4th place, we have F1 Maestro, who had that sole win in Bahrain. He's on 25 points, and he's 5 points off the top of the championship. So right now, separating top 4, there's 5 points separating. We have Kushmania in 5th. He currently has 16 points, so he's a bit further back. So the top 4, nothing in it between the top 4, 5 points. And then we go down the order. We have Kushmania in 5th, Asmaz in 6th, Pelzeri in 7th, who's had very good point finishes so far. We have Burnouts in P8. And P9 for Josu Alzagari, and 10th for LE Revolutions. That's really the top 10 of our championship so far. I've scored the points. But looking at that order, we've had how many different podium people on the podium? We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people on the podium. So very competitive grid this. Anyone at our top 10, in my opinion, in the championship currently so far, can actually win races and be on the podium. That's how close it is, and that's what's so good about this tier. Remember, these guys, they're fighting for, potentially a promotion to Tier 1. The biggest tier we have running currently in ILR. So that's what they're aiming for. But currently, as it stands, the people who've been the most consistent this season are on top. And that's Chris Jones and Mizzy F1 and Brumson. They're currently the top 3 in the championship, and they're separated by nothing. And obviously, we had Maestro's win, who will also be, and he's so quick as F1 Maestro, he's going to be there as well, right with them. So tight so far, very interesting. It's early stages with first 2 races in the season so far. We're into the 3rd race here at China, but it's all to play for so far. A long rest of the season to go as we head into qualifying for China. So I'll try and keep it as entertaining as I can. I'm obviously on my own, so we'll try our best here, and we'll wait for the first guys to go out on circuit. So I expect, for me, if I was to predict anything to happen, the Ferrari boys are going to be right up there as well. F1 Maestro is going to be up there as well. Mid-season is strong. You look at people who've actually won races as well. Down the order, you've got Kushmania, who's won the first race of the season. Expect him to come back. He didn't get points in Bahrain, but I'm pretty sure in my heart he's been right there fighting for the win this weekend as well. So hopefully we've got the first. I think I can see the first car come in circuit right in about now. It's a Force India, and we'll see who that Force India is. And it is F1 Maestro who comes up the track for the first time. And actually, ahead is a Sauber come out and another Sauber. So it's 2 Saubers and 1 Force India who have come out together to start their first flying laps of the qualifying session so far. And I expect this to probably be quite tight. Our qualifying sessions so far this season have been very, very strong to watch. Very exciting to watch. Very close. As F1 Maestro has overtaken the first of the Saubers. And let's see. So we've got actually the Sauber of ERL and Smaz out there. And we have Kushmania out there as well. So they're trying to get in their first early lap, put their bankers down on the board lines. We've got LE Revolutions out there as well, who's been very consistent this season so far. And we've got Burnouts out there as well, who has a lot more pace in him that I think his results don't show. So he'll be interesting to watch this week as well. China, one of those track circuits in my opinion. Actually, I really enjoy China. I know a lot of people actually don't like China, but it's one of my favourite circuits in the calendar, which is a bit odd. But I think we'll go up with the first load of guys who actually are ahead. We got Ansmaz, and I think Maestro will be earlier into his first lap. So we'll keep on board with Maestro here in the broadcast camera, and we'll see if he actually goes into the first lap. I would have thought he will put down a banker. A lot of these guys will put down early bankers, and then they'll probably come back in the pit lane and then do another run. But we have a lot of time in this session to spend in terms of qualifying laps. So if you do bottle it and you do mess up a lap, you have time to come back, and obviously as the track gains evolution, then more pace will come from the circuit, and you'll probably find we'll start seeing the fastest times come towards the end of the session, and a lot more people to improve in the last final 3 minutes. But F1 Maestro goes into a lap here in qualifying, and we're going to ride on board with him right out now. So let's go on board with F1 Maestro as he heads into turn 1 now. He's in 6th gear, and he's a bit wide going into the first part, but he keeps it clean down into 3rd gear. I think that's actually 2nd gear, and then back into 2nd gear once again for the left part. Tries to get a good exit here. He gets a good run from there. A little bit of oversteer on the exit. Let's run a little bit of telemetry here and a little bit of lap data. And first sector's been done for him. He's actually passed the 100 meter board down into 1st gear, and he's actually lost the car a little bit there. So he's actually, I think, made a mistake for going down to 1st gear. 1st gear isn't really a gear you want to be using on this game. Holds it in 7th gear. Very tricky sections. These cars are pretty heavy. Down to 4th gear, and now down into 3rd gear, and actually 2nd gear for the left hand out the 3rd, and now 4th. And he doesn't want to run it too wide, and he's okay in the limits. A little bit of oversteer from the curb, and breaks into this very tricky braking zone. Down into 2nd gear, turns it left, and now this long right-hander, being patient on the throttle, is a very tricky corner in terms of getting the right exit here. And he's in a really superb, doing a little bit of oversteer. You can see he's struggling so much. And he's lost a good chunk of time, so already you can see he's lost quite a chunk of his lap time, and a lot more to come from F1 Maestro as he heads down this long back straight. And now we head, and he's going to brake just before that 100 meter board, down into 1st gear, turns it in, and up the 2nd, now 3rd, and now 4th, and a 5th. And last corner really important to this right, down into 5th gear, turns it in nicely, and runs to the line. That's a lap on board with F1 Maestro at 131.4. We've got Anspas behind him, he does a 31.2. So that was the order so far. I believe, as Chris made the lap, no, he hasn't. So we've got Adam Lee out there in P3 on the soft compound, so he's completely going for something different. Let's see what he's going to do. He's behind Revolutions, who's not getting out of his way. So I believe Revolutions is probably on his flying lap as well. Adam won't be very happy with this, but it's the way it is, unfortunately. He heads into the pit lane, so he's bailed out of that one. Chris Mania currently 4th as well as it stands. He's now 34.1. As we're reducing to 37.4, as we're going to get out of this camera angle because it isn't exactly the nicest, is it? I mean, it's not a great sound. But there you go, that's your initial lap so far. Actually, as Josu Alzi Guy has gone in 2nd place. I'm going to call him Josu because I can't pronounce that the second part. He's on 30.8. So as it stands, actually, Belzeri now top on 30.4. So he's in a superb lap as the Haas driver. Let's have a look, see where he is currently. We've got IH Racing's in the first lap as well, doing a 31.7. So far, it's El Pelzeri who's at the pace so far. He's in front of Joshua. Bonkers now goes P3 in the, and that's really strong from him as well in the Mercedes. So P3 from the Mercedes driver, and very close to the top so far. 410 separating the first top 3. We've got Ansmaz in P4, Maestro in P5, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more from F1 Maestro. He didn't quite get the lap as we saw on board. There you go. There is your initial runs done so far by your guys in the tier so far. Thank you for everybody for joining the stream. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I'll try and make it as entertaining as I can on my own. Thomas obviously isn't here, if you guys have missed me saying that. Yeah, he isn't here, unfortunately. He's got issues with his Xbox Live, so he hasn't been able to get online to watch and commentate with me. So, as it stands, Pelzeri on top after the first initial runs. Very close, as I said. Jamie actually in P2, so currently as it stands, is a Haas 1-2, which is actually very impressive from those two men. They must be loving the circuit currently as it stands. They're on the Ultra Soft as well, and I think a lot of these guys have set their initial runs on the Ultra Soft. We have got Bonkers out there currently. He might be on a lap, but it does seem to be quite conservative. We're going to try and go on board with him, yeah, and he's conserving it. He isn't pushing it that hard. But a lot of people are boxing it in after their initial runs and changing tyres to go on another set. They may have 2 more extra runs at it, so that's the story. But no one really improving. As Desfeld going to improve? I think he might be on that here. he might be, you know. We'll keep with him. He is on a flyer. He's still got time coming, but I don't actually know. He's not going to make it to the line with a 130. You know, he's quite far back, so he isn't really on a lap either. But yeah, a lot of people are pitting in, and they're going to go out again. Let's look down the order. We've got Bibbin is out there currently. He might be on a lap, but the broadcasting camera is not very nice. The audio is a bit off, but we'll keep with it. I'll try not to deafen you guys with that sound. But he is down the straight. And he might be on a flyer here. I think he is. Heads into the hairpin. So down into second gear. Now, I don't think it's going to be a quick lap. It's going to be somewhere, but it's not going to be massively quick. He might be boxing it in here. No, he goes with the left-hander. He's going to complete this lap here. So here he comes to the line that's Bibbin. It's going to be a 1 minute 32.392, which will put him in P2, P12 for now. And anyone else on flyers down the order? Midsey is out there currently. And everyone's in the pit lane, so we'll ride with Midsey. He's been very good this season so far. Top 5 finishes as it stands. And he's putting in a very good season so far. He probably has wanted a bit more. He's been quite tough on himself, and he wants a bit more from this. So we'll keep with Midsey here as he's on the soft compound. So he's going for a different strategy. And a lot of people, we will see, we've seen this throughout the whole season so far. They've gone for different strategies. A lot of people started on the harder of the tyres available and going for the one less stop. This is what we know so far in the season. That's what's very interesting as well. Not necessarily the person on pole. He isn't going to necessarily win the race. That's what's interesting about this season so far. As Missy now heads into the final corner on his soft tyres, let's see what the McLaren driver is going to do. He comes across the line for a 1 minute 31.778. Puts him P10 on the grid, but he's come about a tenth of a bit off his teammate Das Fell as it stands. So, again, pretty close. 1.3 seconds separating the top 10 so far. And that is very interesting indeed. Maestro currently, he's out there as it stands. He's in P6, and I think he's actually going on to his flying lap so he goes through turn 1. Let's ride on board with the 14-year driver. I know we've run a lot on board with him, but actually, got traffic in the way. Adams off in front, and he comes back on without seeing him, and that's going to really affect Maestro's lap. He won't be very happy. We'll keep on board with him. Let's see if he's actually improving. He's on the ultra soft again, and it doesn't say if he's up or down, so we'll keep with Maestro. But that first sector wasn't ideal for him because he got blocked by Toro Rosso, and Toro Rosso probably didn't see him coming. And now through the left-hander, very fast corner, and actually keeping it more tight. Down into 5th for the right, and now 4th. And now down into 2nd gear for the left, up to 3rd, shifting 4th. Now 5th, gets a good run from there. And now we head into the tight left-hander, down into 2nd gear he goes. And he's clipped the grass a little bit on the inside, but he should get a good run. Good exit is needed from this long right-hander. Let's see if he gets that good exit. And it looks like he's kept it all in shape for now. So much better than his previous lap. So this, I do expect to be an improvement from the Force India driver. To head down this very long back straight, one of the longest of the seasons. As we head into that hairpin once again. Brakes before that 100-meter board down into 1st gear. And he shifts the apex nicely, gets up to 2nd gear, now 3rd, shifting very quickly as we head into that last corner. And it's been a very decent lap from F1 Maestro. Comes from the last corner now, let's see, it's an improvement for the forcing driver. Across the line, a 30.486, it puts him just off pole position, but not by much, 100th, separating Pelzeri and Maestro as it stands. A very tight lap, very close, but Maestro will pit back in and will have one more shot at trying to get pole position back. But he'll try his best. Currently as it stands, with Josu out there as well. He's on the Ultra Soft 2. The Rebel driver looks to try and improve his time. He's currently 4/10 off the pole. So it's been a pretty good session so far from the Rebel driver. He's had the pace this season, but it's been a little bit unlucky. As we head through again, a very tight left-hander in the right. And we're going to run on broadcast because that audio on the onboard camera is horrific. He's a good exit from this long right-hander. Very important, even in the race. And he gets a very good exit indeed. As he heads down this very long straight. Hits the DRS. Using everything he's got on the ERS. And now we're going to heavy brake into that hairpin 100-meter board. He brakes down into 1st gear. And he's clipped the apex nicely. Gets a good run. And now into that last corner. This is going to be down into 4th gear, clips it nicely, run to a line for the Rebel driver, and across the line he comes, and it's pole position for the Rebel driver, 30.372, and he has laid the marker down for the whole grid, and he'll still have one next run to go, so he's still got time to improve. Pelzeri is out there currently as well in the Haas, and he's looking to improve. He heads into that hairpin once again, down into first gear. He locks in a little bit, but he gets a decent run from the exit. He heads into the final corner. Is it going to be an improvement for that driver? Comes to the last corner, down the fourth gear, runs it nicely onto the curb. Cross the line for him. It's going to be a 30.6, and it's 2/10 off his previous best, so not an improvement for that driver. Anyone else out there on good laps? We've got the Mercedes. We've got Bromson out there as well. Maca Jones down in the 13th, who's actually had a really strong season, so he isn't doing entirely well. Bromson, though, isn't on a lap in the Ferrari. Let's keep with him. He has some just very good pace as well. He's proved very good consistency so far this season, and he wants some better results. Down the straight once again, heading into the hairpin. It might not be an optimal lap. It goes into the hairpin, down into first gear. Goes a little bit deep, not on the apex, but he'll get a decent run from it otherwise. And then heads into, yeah, it's not going to improve. He's backed off here, so he's not going to improve in this lap. Asma's currently out there as well, but he's not on a flyer either, so traffic potentially getting in his way. We've got Mizzy out there currently. He's okay, slow lap as well. So RH Racing's in the other Red Bull. His teammate has apparently put it on pole position. Let's see what the other Red Bull can do. And again, I don't think he's on a big lap here, so he probably won't improve that much either. So anyone on really good laps here, let's down the order note. Renault has banned off Joker. We won't expose him too much for that. Bibbin is on the flyer lap. Anyone else on flyers? Not really. So let's go. I'd love to be able to go up the order. It'd be lovely. Aspas is in as well. So a lot of people are coming back in to do their final run. So I don't blame them. At this stage, it's with less than 5 minutes to go. We're going to put on some fresh rubber and just go again. But Midsi is continuing out there as it stands. So this could be his final lap in qualifying. He is on the ultra soft compound. Let's see if we can go on board with him. And it's deafening audio sounds is lovely. We head down into his double left-hander. Very tricky set of corners. Actually, this track in general is very tricky on traction. It gets a good run from there as we head into the left part, down into second. Actually, he keeps it in third gear. It's a different type of technique from the McLaren driver as he heads through this long right-hander. Again, I will stress this, very important exit needed, and he gets a decent run there. So let's see what the McLaren driver can do. He's probably the only one currently who's going to improve. We've got Jamie up there as well in the Haas, so he might. He's currently out there as well, so he might improve soon too. So Mizzy heads into this hairpin and actually clips it quite nicely. Gets a good run from the exit, and the last corner is very vital for your run. So here he comes down into fourth gear. Clips it nicely, gets a nice run out of the last corner, and to the line he comes. McLaren drives down a 30.2, which puts it on pole position. So what a lap from Midzi in the McLaren. He's put it on pole, and he stole pole away from Josu. So very good lap from Midzi, and I've seen that coming, you know. I've seen that coming. He's been absolutely flawless. But then again, that could show that the track evolution has happened. But a lot of people are in the pit lane to prepare for their final runs, and what they're going to have is the tracks can get better and better and better as it goes along. Bibbin currently down in 14. Let's go to him. And he's coming through to complete his lap. He's on the ultra soft as well. A lot of people coming out for that out laps. Mizzy has hit the market now. He's 10th and a bit. Actually, not even that. He's actually, yeah, he's just under a 10th ahead of Josu. But remember, everyone else is going to have a bit more track evolution, and therefore they're going to be probably a bit faster. So Bibbin comes to the left-hander. It looks like he's struggling a little bit with the car. He's not completely happy, I think. Gets a decent run out that long right-hander here, and onto the back straight. So let's see if the Williams driver can improve from his current 14th place. Hits DRS down the straight as we head into the hairpin. We pass for that very harsh braking zone. Actually, he's backed off. He's weaving them straight. He isn't going to improve on that lap, so he's bailed out of that. But as you can see, a lot of people are coming out to do their final runs. Midzi will be coming in, but I think he's not going to have enough time to switch onto another set of tyres. That is his qualifying over, I'd probably assume. But Maca Jones currently, the Ferrari driver, is out there, but he's on an out lap. A lot of people are doing their out laps here. But Josu out there, he wants to try and take a pole back away from Midzi, but we've had different people on pole position so far, and that shows how competitive the grid is. Who is further up? Maestro currently on an out lap as well, so we're going to keep with Josu, I think. Which I think, you know, look at that top, even like top 6. You know, it's what, 4/10 separating them? It's pretty close, and that shows how close this grid is. But yeah, Midzi's retired. That's his run over, like I assumed. And we're going to keep with Josu here. He goes through turn 1 for his final time here. Keeps it in 4th gear down the 3rd. Was a good line here. He's got a decent line. Now into left-hander, and he gets a good run from there. He's a good exit here, and he's got that good exit seemingly. Try and go on board with him, but the audio is still messed up. As we now head in, that's first sector completed. Now heading into this, he's gone deep. Yeah, he's missed that apex, and that's going to be that run over, and he's chucked that away, and he won't be improving that lap. So that's him retired out of the session. Pelzeri in the Haas, currently hunting pole position. He's 2 and a bit tenths away from pole. We'll try and go on board with him. I'll tell you what, we're going to just don't care about the audio. We're going to keep him on board. He puts it in first gear for that second corner there. And he's up to 4th, and now 5th, and now 6th. As the audio is trying to deafen me, I swear to God. As we head from that first sector, he's actually a little bit, pretty good first sector, 23.7. And he gets a good run from there. And he climbs down into the left, right as he goes. We're going to go on broadcast for the left, right for the Haas driver. A lot of pressures on this far run. If he doesn't hook it up, he won't get pole. And now he gets down into 3rd gear. And now 2nd. Needs a good run from the second part of the double right-hander. It gets a good run from there as we head into the left. Down in 2nd gear. And he gets in 2nd gear. And now 3rd. Needs a good run from this long right-hander. Very pivotal for the whole lap. Does he get the run that he wants? Yes, he does. He has a very good run as a Haas driver. Down this long back straight. And the ones to watch for me, McAdoo has actually improved to 5th place, so he's out of qualifying too. So the ones to watch, Jamie, Maestro and Pelzeri, as we head into the hairpin. 1st gear, need a good run from here. He's got that run. Let's watch him through the last corner. Here he comes as the Haas driver. Down the 4th gear, hits the apex nicely. Good run across the line. Here he comes into pole. It's not. It's just off pole. It's 6,000 a second off pole. So close, but it puts him in P2, and he's going to be absolutely gutted with that. Maestro hasn't improved either, but Jamie currently in 6th place. I'm interested to see what the other Haas driver does as well. He's got a little bit of time, and so does Bonkers as well. We don't want to discount him as well. And as he heads down into the hairpin for the final time. Down into 2nd gear, 1st gear now actually, even for the hairpin. Gets a good exit. And now going to get the run for the last corner now. Here he comes. Is it going to be an improved for the Haas driver? He comes to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute, 30.299. Again, so close. It's 4th place. And that was a good lap. But look how close the top finished in the end. So close. I think they were within the same tenths, as in they were they all did 30.2s. So let's see what the order is at the end of qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. What a qualifying session. How close do you want to go? So here we go. Mitzi on pole position by 6,000ths of a second, and of AOR Pelzeri in the Haas. As Bonkers in P3, P4 for Jamie. Look at that. Legit attempt to in the top 5. Josu in P5 with 30.3. And they've got Brumson in P6. Daz fell in P7. P8 for F1 Maestro. He's going to be absolutely gutted with that. 2 tenths away from pole. Chris Jones in P9 and P10 for Thomas. 5-10 separating in top 10. Irish Racing's in P11. Era Ansmas in 12th. Joker in 13th. 14th for VSR Kushmania. 15th for Shazzy Burnouts. IRL Bibbin in 16th. 17th for LE Revolutions. And Adam Lee in 18th. So what are qualifying sessions we had for you? Set a 10 separating the top 5 and 5 tenths separating top 10. That is absolutely insane how close this order is and how close these guys are in qualifying. Head into the race now. They'll be ready to get racing. It's actually a wet race, so go look at that. A spanner in the works has already struck here. But look at that, rain falling in China, and that's going to do all sorts of things for the race in terms of strategy. This is going to be incredible. And also, of course, the drivers will have known this in qualifying, that it's going to be a wet start of the race. So that's why everyone went on ultra softs. We don't often know that information, but they knew that basically it was going to be wet, so they all went for the flyer. Good to see that everyone was absolutely on the edge in qualifying, using the ultra soft tyres, putting in their best laps. That's what we want to see in qualifying, and that's what qualifying is all about. People with everything they want, and do the final runs in. But we're just waiting for the other guys to get ready up here as we head down for the grid for the rev up for 5 red lights here in China. And here we go, boys. 5 red lights in China for round 3 of the season, when we are lights out and away we go. A bit of a slow start, obviously. We're on those tyres as we down into turn 1, and Bernard Midzi does lead the way from AR Pelzeri. There's a crash in the background for the Mercedes from the Ferrari, but it's Midzi who leads the way from Pelzeri in second, and we've got cars off in the background, another Ferrari in the background as well. So both Ferraris have had absolute not very good starts, but it's Mitzi who leads from Pelzeri in P2. Josu in P3 is actually attacking the Ferrari driver, the Haas driver here, as we head on board with him as we go into the first sector for the first time, and he's trying to go on the inside on the attack. There's Josu goes on the inside of the Haas driver. Does it that we've done? Pelzeri's going to be on the outside. We're going to run on board with broadcast camera, but from what I can see, it's Pelzeri actually on the inside for the fast left-hander as he keeps positions. So Pelzeri keeps his position in P2. We've got Josu in P3 attacking him. P4 for Jamie, so the two Haas drivers in the top 5. Bonkers in P5. P6 for F1 Maestro, who's missed some positions up in the first lap. But Ansmaz is out of the race. He's going to be absolutely gutted with that. His race start is ended before we can even get started. Das fell in P7 and Kushmania in P8. P9 for Brumson and P10 for Thomas. But as I said, look at that. The two Ferrari boys have actually had absolutely horrendous starts to this race. Both guys were off at the start. And yeah, not the ideal situation for the people who are leading the Constructors' Championship. But look at this. In the background, we have the Red Bull, who's fighting with the Hasses. We're going to go on board here with Jamie. He's in the slipstream of Josu here. Is he going to be able to attack? He's trying to gain time on Pelzeri. Pelzeri is fighting Josu very hard, but Josu's got position. He actually got the move done, and Pelzeri, and actually he's coming on attack from Bonkers actually on the inside, but Jamie gets the exit on the outside. Pelzeri is continuing to actually attack Josu here, but Josu has the move, but Lindsay in the midst of this has got away. He's got a 2-second gap to P2. But look at this behind. Let's see what's happening as we ride with the broadcast cameras. We've got F1 Maestro and P6 all over the rear end. But look how close the top 6 are. Nothing in it. As look, Maestro goes to the inside of the Mercedes driver and he gets the move done as he keeps the foreign Mercedes drivers actually on the inside. Look at the Haas, the two Hasses and the Red Bulls. They're battling it out as well. There's so much battling already in the first couple of laps of this race. But the Ferrari driver keeps the lead. And now look, the two Hasses are behind each other as we've got Jamie trying to go on the inside of Pelzeri, but no space there. Maestro is still in P6. He's run too deep. And we've got the Kushmania in P6 now. Actually, now Maestro into P6 once again. So lots of switches, but Maestro's lost a little bit of momentum there. And Bonkers stays in his P5 position. But Jamie, look at this. The battle we're watching here is between P3, P4, and P5. You can see Jamie is getting held up by Pelzeri here. Pelzeri probably a little bit rattled from that start. But look, Jamie's all over the rear end. Look at that. Pelzeri's lost the rear end. They're going to go on board with Jamie, who's now up into that P3. But the Mercedes driver as well, Bonkers, who's gone for the move as well. And I can't see what's happening, but I think it's all well and good. Bonkers is battling away with the Haas driver. He's on the inside is the Haas driver, and we've got Bonkers on the left-hand side. He's going wheel to wheel with him, and let's see if the better run is actually the Mercedes driver. But what Pelzeri has to do is tap back into the slipstream of that Mercedes driver and deploy a bit more. Let's look at the telemetry, look at the lap data. He's gone to the left-hand side. Bonkers on the inside, and Pelzeri's breaking a little bit more deep. He's on the outside, but is he going to make the move around the outside? He is going to make the move around the outside, and the Haas driver gets back into that P4, but has lost time to his own teammate from that mistake. But very vital, but Pelzeri's run wide again, and he's struggling with that last corner. It's so tricky in the wet, it's so tricky in the dry. But you can see the challenge that these drivers are having to face in this race so far. But as it stands, Midseat leads the way currently, and he's got a 2.9 second gap to Josu in P2. He's been put in a very good performance as top 2. Jamie in P3 is 9/10 behind the Red Bull driver, and P4 for AOR Pelzeri. P5 for Bonkers, who's right behind that the Haas driver. Kushmania in P6. P7 for Maestro, who's challenging Kushmania here. He wants to try and get past, but we've got the Ferrari of Brumson making another comeback through the field like he did in Bahrain. So this is going to be a close one as well. Burnout's there as well. He's making mistakes as well. But down the order, that's pretty much it. And a lot of people have DNF. Bibbin, Dasfell, Revolutions, and Ansmaz are all out of this race, and Adams in the pits. So there you go. You've got 13 runners left in this race. It means we can concentrate on these boys. But we're going to keep with this. Maestro in P7 behind Kushmania. They're trying to space each other out a little bit here, but they're just not being able to get away from each other, seemingly. Maestro trying to line up a move on Bonkers. Actually, Kushmania lining a move on Bonkers. Actually gets a good run from the left-hander. You're going to actually get the move done on the inside. But remember, Bonkers is going to have the inside back on him, and he's going to get the move done probably. He's struggling for traction. Is the Mercedes driver. He's going to go to the right-hand side. He's going to try and get him down into the hairpin. He's going to use the slipstream, use all his energy he has here. He goes to the left-hand side, going to try and brake later than the Sauber driver, trying to go around the outside. The outside is probably the better line for this corner, as Pelzeri makes a mistake as well. But right now, Mania is into P5. He's making a very good move there. And he's now going to chase down Pelzeri, who's dropping back from the top 3. The Bonk is struggling for grip as well. Bromson in P7. Maestro's made a mistake, seemingly, and now Michael Jones is in P9. So both Ferrari boys are making a comeback, and they have proven to be the most consistent team this season so far. So they're putting a lot of effort in to try and get as much points and damage limitation to them, I would say. But looking down, it's so tight between P6, P5, P4, and there's an even outside shot for P3 here as well. We're going to look at the order of Jimmy's losing a little bit of time to Josu, and Josu's actually found about 5/10 to Mid-C. So Mid-C has a little bit of time here. His gap isn't as comfortable as it was. So we're looking down the order here in the broadcast. Now the Mercedes in the background is bonkers. He's gone into the wall, and that's got to be his race over. Where is he gone? And I think that might be it for the Mercedes driver. He's gone down the order, and that is it. He's pretty much blown his race. And he's disqualified his wrong way, so he's trying to get the car recovered, but he's now out of the race. So Bonkers no longer in the race anymore, and he's going to be so disappointed with that. He's running so well as well, so unfortunate for him. He's going to be absolutely raging with that. But currently, as it stands, Pelzeri in P4, Mania in P5, Brumson in P6, and it's all kind of spacing out now. Everything's trying to settle down. We've got 12 runners left in this race, but everything's starting to settle down with 24 laps to go in this race so far. So it's been a slow start for everybody. Obviously, it's been battles everywhere, but obviously there's slow lap time because of the intermediate conditions. So everyone is currently just trying to get into the groove here. We're just trying to find somebody to watch, but Bonkers now has left. He's probably very disappointed. Sorry, I feel sorry for the guy, really. I think he made a mistake and that ended his race, so that's really unfortunate. Pelzeri heads through the last corner, but he's got a lot of pressure from Mania here. And this is probably the tightest battle we've got on circuit as it stands. We have got another Ferrari looking at the Force India. We'll keep with Kushmania and Pelzeri. Strategy for this race should be an easy one-stop, really. They'll probably stop for a set of intermediates if it continues to rain. It is still pouring down with rain, so I would suspect it's not gonna dry up. But you never know; they know more about the weather than I do, and they might have a dry spell coming soon, which would very much play a part and make it very interesting indeed. It's still putting pressure on the Pelzeri, and in these conditions, when you get the pressure on you, it is harder to keep focused. It's harder to keep in that rhythm and that momentum. And if you make a mistake, it's all over. But in the background, I can see that the Force India and Maka Jones, Maestro and Chris are battling it away. And I'm going to keep with this. Actually, I think this actually is the most tight we've got it so far. 2 attempts separating these two, and Chris is going to be trying to get past James, who is struggling. Maestro does seem to be struggling in these conditions. He's not as good in these conditions, seemingly, as he was in the dry conditions. But we're going to keep with Maka Jones, who's been trying to get a move done on the Force India driver. We head down to this left-hander, and we want to get a good run, and Maestro goes very deep, and Maka Jones is trying to get around the outside. We're going on board with him, but no, he's not been able to move his stick, but Maestro is not going to leave him any space. But Chris needs to prepare himself for this long straight, try and get, and use his ERS, his slipstream, and everything he's got. And let's see if he can get past the Force India. In the slipstream, he's closing in on him, and let's see if he's going to go to the outside. James forced into the outside now, down into this hairpin, down into first gear, and they've both gone too deep, and Maestro's kind of not let him through there, and Max just stayed behind him once again, as actually Missy is now fast enough for the race. He's now 3 seconds ahead of Josu. Once again, we've got the Ferrari driver pressurising Maestro here, as he's trying to get a move done, but he can't find a way through. How his mate Kushmania doing? Again, very similar story. He's trying to get through but can't. And there's a thing in these conditions, you've got no DRS. It's not as easy to overtake in these situations. You have to pretty much rely on your ERS and your fuel type to actually have any chance of having a go at any driver. Makes it a bit more challenging to overtake in these conditions. But right now, as it stands, it's all pretty tight. Actually, you've got Burnouts now. It's actually caught up with Chris Jones and Maestro, so we'll see what he can do. And Maestro's gone very deep once again, so look at this. Maka Jones is a three-way battle, three-way scrap for P7 here. And we'll see, can Chris pressurise Maestro into a mistake? It seems like he is doing that because Maestro did make a mistake. and we'll keep with these three boys who are absolutely pushing the absolute limit, and we're going to go on board with these battles as Burnouts is just trying to find a way past, really. He hasn't been able to find a way past as of yet, but he probably wants to crack on with it. He does seem to have quite a good amount of pace, this Toros driver, so he's going to try and get a good exit from this long round. Once again, Maestro misses braking, and he's gone very deep, and Chris is trying his absolute best. He actually has got a cutback as Chris. He's gone on the inside of Maestro, and he's got that move done, surely. Let's look back on Maestro, and let's see. He's on the inside, it's so close between the two of them, and Maestro's going to try and fight back behind them. We're going to see right on board with Burnout as he actually sees the situation unravel. Maestro's on the inside, Burnout's and Jones is on the outside. He's going to go to the left-hand side once again. Maestro breaks early, tries to go to the inside. He keeps the inside, and Burnout's trying to get a move done, but look at that, Maestro and Jones are absolutely battling it to death. Through the last corner, Jones goes, and he's actually got the move done on Maestro. Maestro's got the cut back, and he's got the move done. No, and Jones has got the move done indeed. So Chris into P7, but Maestro's going to try and fight back into turn 1. Is he going to get the move done? He is going to get the move done, and he's got the move done. But what about Chris? He's going to cut back. Yes, he has got the cut back, and he got button up from the inside of Maestro, and he got the move done. No, Maestro's on the inside of Burnouts, and just like that, Maestro might have lost 2 moves, but he's still battling with Burnouts. Burnouts on the left-hand side, he's going to get the better traction out the corner. He's only on the inside of the next corner, and Maestro has lost 2 positions, but Maestro goes deeper into the apex. He's going to try and cut back on the force on the Toros driver. He does get the cut back, but as he got the run he wants, he's going to be on the right-hand side. Burnouts on the inside, the left-hander, and there you go. Torosso into that P8 position and chasing down Chris, but look at that, Maestro's lost 2 positions in one go, and he's going to be absolutely very disappointed with that indeed. Meanwhile, whilst we've been watching that, Pelzeri has lost position to Kushmania, who's actually got a 3.7 seconds gap to him. So, seems as if Pelzeri has made a mistake, and now Bromson is on the verge of a comeback here, as he's going to try and get in the slipstream of the Haas driver. And we'll see what he can do. He's in the slipstream, can have the ERS. No DRS though. It does look to be drier out there on circuits, and maybe we are going to be switching to the slicks soon. And look at that, Pelzeri's made a mistake, and look at that, Bromson's now into P5. So what a comeback drive from Bromson so far. He's made very good comeback drives in Bahrain, and once again here, he's actually back into P5, and he was down in the order originally at the start of the race. So superb from Bromson, as once again Ferrari are looking for a very good double points finish here in China. But looking down the order, it's still very spaced out. The 3 closest battles we've got on the circuit really is between Jones, Burnouts, and Maestro. But other than that, it's Joker actually is behind his own teammate, and especially Joker comes into the pit lane, so he's making the first stop of the race for him. So there you go, that's the first 8 laps of the race so far. It's all starting to sort of settle down here, but this is Burnouts versus Jones. I'm going to keep with these two. Burnouts does seem to have very good pace in these conditions, but it just seems as if it is getting drier on the circuit. There's not much spray out there, and that's why I think Joker's took the risk and actually he's going to pit in and probably switch over to those slick tyres. But yeah, it does seem as if things are trying to settle in, but I'm sure we've got a lot more to turn to in terms of strategy to go in this race. But Jamie now is a second behind Josu, so I just want to watch this well. We'll keep with Burnouts as he's putting a lot of pressure on Chris. I mean the slipstream of the Ferrari driver. He wants to get a good exit again from that long right-hander. I've stressed that quite a lot in this stream so far, but yeah, he wants to get as much get a good run for the long left-hander here. And here he comes, and try and get a good run around board with the Toros driver. Let's see what he can do. And you see they're struggling with the exit and the oversteer for the Toros driver. He saves it, but yeah, you can see the extent of it's drying out. People are struggling with their tyres. The intermediates have probably lost their best performance, and therefore they're preparing to come into the pit lane probably very soon, I'll say in the next couple of laps at least, to put on some slicks. And you can see already Jamie and Mania have already gone, you know what, we're going to just go for it and pit in and put some 6 tyres on, and we'll try and get the undercut on Midsi and Josu. Jamie, they've gone for the risk, and we'll see how the progression is. It's very important to see for all the other drivers. They put a set, I think, of, is that medium compound tyres they put on the car? Yes, it is. So they're going right to the end of the race on that set of mediums. As Jamie goes again, and he's going to be the first guy on the slicks. And we'll see how he goes if he's struggling. And we're going to go on board with the Haas driver. It looks to be quite dry on my screen, but on their screens it can be completely different. But he's struggling for turn 1, and the tyres are going to be very cold. Not going to be right in their operating window. So, you know full well they'll be struggling. But 6 to 1, there's yellow flags out, so people are making mistakes as it stands. But Jamie's been trying his absolute best to try and get an undercut. But those guys could have had they had a decent gap to the guys behind them. But look at that deep for the Haas driver. But they had quite a minimal gap to the guys ahead. So they've kind of gone, you know what, we're going to YOLO it and actually just try and put the tyres on and trying to get an undercut. But you can see it's maybe a lap too early. But DRS has been enabled, so maybe this might be the right decision from the Haas driver. And the truck might get a bit better as time goes on. And he is actually gaining time on his own teammate here. This might have been an absolute masterstroke. Actually, no, he's losing a little bit that time, so it may not be completely dry. We'll see what the other leaders are going to do. Mid-C currently coming out the penultimate corner now, probably going to be heading into the pit lane. And he does head into the pits as McLaren driver, so this is going to be a vital stop for him as he trims that pit entry as much as he can to get the best outlap possible. Heads into the pit lane as a McLaren driver as he pits in for the race. And so does Josu. So Josu top 2. Don't want to leave it out too long, and they probably think this is the perfect lap for the pits. Let's see how it goes for the McLaren driver. He's going to sit to the medium compound again, so going to the end. Good stop, does it? He's held, he's being held, and he's... Oh no, he's not, he's okay, it's just off screen. So there you go, mid-seat, comes back out into P1, and that's been fantastic work from the McLaren boys, and a fantastic strategy call from mid-C. Josu is in P2 as well. Brumson now into P3, now P4, as Jamie is still in P3, so he hasn't lost much time from that. It probably was worth him doing it. Mania now going to be battling with Brumson. Heads into turn 1, he's going to be on the inside on the soft compound tyres. He got the move done. He barges the Ferrari driver away. What it's very impolite of him. But now Mania is into P4. But remember, he's on the soft compound, not the medium. So he's not gone longer into his race at all. But now Mania into P4 with a very aggressive move as Brunson's now down to P5. I don't think that was very polite of him, really. He's gone very deep. Oh, Brumson's struggling on the brakes and he's gone deep. He's near the gravel, wants to be nowhere near that. And you can see in the background, Belzeri's right there with him. So you can see the tyres. It's so hard to get the heat in the tyres and get the perfect outlap as well. So they're going to be absolutely struggling. And the thing with Jamie is that he had a lap out on those tyres, so he would have got them up to a better temperature than those who have actually pitted. So that's the advantage of coming in a lap earlier. You kind of, when the others come out a lap later, your tyres are already warmed, and you can see that a big time. You can see the big difference in that throughout on this game. You see a big difference in that. But as it stands, it's all pretty spaced out once again. So the closest we've got is Pelzeri and Brumson. They're separated by a second as it stands. Mid-C's got a 5.5 second gap to Josu, and Jamie's 3 seconds back from him. And Mania's in P4, 4.6 seconds back further. So yeah, the closest we've got is Pelzeri and Brumson currently, and that's at 1.3 seconds. So yeah, as it stands, pretty close. Ferrari drivers P5, P7, as it was earlier on. So they're going to have a good set of points for the Constructor Championship again. But there's shame about F1 Maestro down in P8, but he probably prefers these conditions, so you never know. He might be able to make a comeback and get some better points than that. But yeah, it's all pretty spaced out now after their first round of stops. It all kind of spaced out a little bit, and it all sort of spaces out as we've seen in previous races. So strategy has been done, and it's 1.6 seconds the difference between Pelzeri and Brumson. It's growing, so we're not going to get much of a battle seemingly as it stands, and everyone's trying to get into and settle into the conditions. It's still a little bit damp probably out there. They're trying to get the tyres up to the right window, and they're trying to get into that rhythm where they can absolutely just attack for it and everything. So we see who's made the most positions up here, and you can see Mania has made 10 positions up from the start. So 10 positions has been made by the Sauber driver, 6 by burnouts. So some big movers and a few losers here. Pelzeri is actually down four positions down from his starting order, and he had such a strong qualifying, but seemingly the start of the race wasn't awesome. It wasn't that great for him in the wet conditions. But yeah, they've all made 1 stops, and some of them, so you can see that Chris Bridges on the soft compound tyre, and everyone else is on the medium. So a lot of them are going to the end, and whether or not Chris Marino will be able to get to the end on that soft compound tyre, I don't quite know. I suspect he probably won't and have to pit in for another set of tyres, so we're going to make 2 stops of this instead of 1. So he might have messed the strategy up a little bit. But let's have a look at the interval, and let's just run it as, let's do it as, yeah, the amount of young tyres we've got. So there you go. So Jamie puts in the fastest lap, as now made as a 42.8, so he's actually 1.2 seconds faster than any of the medium runners. So he's really fast right now, is Kushmania, and he's 2.7 behind Jamie. So it just seems like the medium isn't quite in that window right now, and the soft is so much faster. So as it stands, they're quite a bit off the pace to where they were in qualifying. So we'll just see a bit more lap time. Come. There's all pretty, actually now Pezzeri within a second, actually just outside a second from Bromson. So that is our closest battle, but as it stands, it is really dead out there. There's not much going on. But we'll just try and make the most of what we've got as it stands. Pezzeri is heading through the fast right-hander. But the 3 is now yellow, and actually Joker's now out, so now we've got 11 runners left in this race, and you can see it's, you know, 10th place for Thomas at 1 point, but he's 17 seconds back from Chelsea burnouts. But that Pezzeri is putting pressure on Bromson. He's there, he's within a second. He's always closing within a second, but on the exit he seems to lose a little bit of time. So we'll see what he can do. Let's see if we can get a distant tow from the Ferrari driver. And he's 9/10 behind. He's a good run from this long right-hander, which he does get a good run. Let's see what he can do. Let's go on board. Yeah, he's quite far away back. He isn't quite there. Misses in the fast lap of the race, 42.2. So that's mega pace from the McLaren driver. So he's already standing 6 seconds now nearly the gap. So once again, Mizzi and Josu doing superb right now in terms of pace. Jamie keeping them honest as well, and Kushmania. Pezzeri's running very wide. He's got the DRS, so let's see if he closes up on Bromson. And heading into turn 1, he will close up a little bit, but he's not closing as much as he'd like to. Head through the first couple of turns. He's a good run from the second corner here. It's really good. And a lot of this track is traction. You know, a lot of it is focused on traction, getting the best traction out of corners you can possibly get. And he gets a good run, does he? He's actually within 5/10 of the Ferrari driver. So the Ferrari driver is struggling as it stands. After the very good comeback he's made, he's struggling. And the Haas is really putting the pressure on the Ferrari driver as we head through the left, the fast left-right once again here in China. He's a good run here, and Joker's out now led the session. So, as I said, he did retire earlier, and he's now only got 11 runners left. So everyone so far, apart from RH Racing, is going to score points. But once again, the Haas driver of actually got big about front actually. Kushmania 2/10 behind Jamie. And he's putting the pressure on. He's going to be on the inside here. He's got the move done, I think. Jamie behind him, and he's lost it to Mania. So Mania on the softs into P3. He's made the most of that, and he's got the DRS as well. So Jamie won't be gaining. What Jimmy's got to do is keep close to him through that last corner. He's a good exit from here. But Mania, remember, he's on the softer compound, but he's probably going to have to pit again. So Mizzy once again is a 40.9, so the track again improving even more. So Mizzy setting this down once again. But Mania does a fast lap of race, 39.6, so the DRS from that lap absolutely just gave him the fast lap of the race. But Jamie in this situation is probably thinking, you know what, you need to keep it steady. Need to keep working at it and just try my absolute best to keep with Kushmania. We probably would be on a completely different strategy. So Jamie, I wouldn't be worrying if I was Jamie, but now Bromson and Pezzeri are battling away once again, and actually Pezzeri actually has got past. We missed that, and we're going to keep on board with Bromson. Let's see what he's going to do back. Is he going to go on the counter attack on the Haas driver? He's in the slipstream. Is he going to make the move? No, he's going to go to the outside, going to try and cut back on the Haas driver, and he's not got the cut back he wanted. And looks like the Haas driver has made the move stick for P5, and there's a Haas, and there's 2 Haas's in the top 5 so far. We'll keep with these 2, and we'll see if they do anything. A second separates Bromson and Chris, so Chris is going to try and get in with the action as well. This is our closest battle in this race so far, as it stands. So, it's battle for P5 in this race between the 2 Ferraris, and the Haas. So all Ferrari-powered cars. Bromson's going to try and get a good exit here, and he actually has got a very good run on the Haas driver here. So once again, he's now on the attack, and he's going to be in the slipstream and the DRS. Going to use his ERS as well, and I want to go on board with the Ferrari driver. Let's see, hit the DRS now in the slipstream. Let's see what he can do. Pelzo could go to the. He's going to actually not defend it at all. He's actually let him go as Bromson now gets the move done into the hairpin. Does he get it stopped? He does, but look at that on the back, on the count back. Is it going to be the Haas driver? No, he's not going to be the cut back he wants. Into the final corner, 4th gear. He's going to try and get the exit down the DRS as well. He's going to use a little bit of his DRS as well. He's going to try and make the move into turn 1. Is it going to be enough? It's closing and closing and closing. He's to the left-hand side. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to go around the outside. They make contact. And they're both, and the Haas has gone round, and Chris is down to P6. And it just seemed to me that Pelzo tried turning in too much. From what we saw there, he tried turning in far too much. And it wasn't going to be on. He couldn't get it around the outside, and unfortunately, it looked like Robinson could have run out of room, but he still left room on the outside. So, racing instant, I would call that if I was looking at that again, but I'll have to look at that again to make a complete assumption. But Pelzeri's lost 2 positions now. He's down to P7. He's going to be absolutely gutted. But now it's a Ferrari battle. Chris versus Bromson. This is for honour, almost. Who's the fastest Ferrari driver? And look at that. Chris is closing up big time, and he's absolutely having a great race here. He's closing it up. So Bromson, he's going to be under some severe pressure as we head into that back straight. And Chris is going to go down into this long left-hander. Going to try his absolute best to get a great exit here and run on board with the Ferrari driver. And let's see, Ferrari versus Ferrari, teammates versus teammates. Who's going to come out on top? Make sure they don't make contact, because it's all about the Constructors' Championship at this early stage. Here's DRS in the slipstream, using that ERS, using the race mix, goes to the left-hand side, and he's got the move done, I think. But let's see what happens. And actually, you know what? Bromson's just let him have it. He's not going to bother with it. And Mania, once again, is a fast lap race, 37.0. So, yeah, it's pretty close up front as Mania is closing in on Josu. And he's on a completely different strategy. But Bromson now has got a 3-second time penalty, as Chris is down to P5 and he's a bit far away back. But Pelzeri made a mistake. He's now a further 3.4 seconds back. Marshal's 1.8 seconds back from that as well. So Pelzeri has knocked himself out of that battle for the P5 position. But currently, as it stands, actually Thomas is actually now 10th behind Irish Racing. So actually, we're on board with this battle for the point. DRS and slipstream once again down this long back straight. He's going to go to the outside, going to break as late as he dares. We're going to give the room to space on the inside for the Red Bull driver. And we're going to go back onto broadcast. Let's see if the runner can get past the Red Bull driver. We head through the last corner, looks to the inside. Does he make it stick on the inside? No, he cannot. He's going to get the exit. Does he get the exit? It's a DRS on board, but no, he's made a mistake. I think got the oversteer out of the last corner. And Irish Racing keeps hold at P10 for now. But right now it's all pretty tight. But Chris Manias is the one we want to watch here. He's on the soft, and the head, Josh is on the medium, and he's Mania's been pumping in the fastest lap for the race so far, and he's closing in so fast. You know what? Josu is not going to battle this. He's let him go, and for the strategy of the race, he's gone, you know what, Kush? Have the move. You're on a different strategy. You're on the softs. I'm on the mediums. I'm not battling. I'm not costing myself this podium. So Josu very sensibly lets him go, and Kush Mania is now going to try and hunt down Mincy into the final 11 laps of this race. But I do think he's going to have to make a stop sometime soon, as now Chris Mania is a 35.8. Another fast lap of the race for the power driver, who's been pumping in these fastest laps for quite a long time since getting on those soft tyres. Pelzeri has lost the position to Marshall now, and Pelzeri lost all sorts of just that rhythm. He's lost it. He's lost so many positions. He's lost 3 positions in the last few laps. So he's almost lost that momentum since being overtaken since that Bromson collision he had. He's almost lost that momentum and that stride and that rhythm. He's dropped further back down the order as Irish Racing now made a move on the round driver, and these two are still battling it out. Let's watch these two actually go for the final point of the race. And look at that, Thomas is on the inside, going to go to the inside of the hairpin. Irish Racing is trying to go on the outside. He's going to try and cut back, but he can't cut back. And look at that, what a move from Thomas. Now into P10 for the final points paying position in this race. We are going to go on board. Let's see if we get a good exit from the last corner. DRS activated. He's going to be using his ERS, but he hasn't got much of it, so I think Thomas is safe as we head through turn 1. And yeah, he's going to go around the outside. Is he going to go around the outside? No, he cannot. There's not enough grip on the outside. Going to try and get a good exit here. Going to cut back in here. Let's see if he gets a good run. 8 tenths separating Joshua and Kushmania. Obviously after that overtake Kushmania made. And Irish Racing is in the slipstream, but he's not close enough. Yeah, I think we're going to keep with these two. They're going to absolutely battle out for the final point. Why not give it battle to some airtime to the guys there? As Kushmania again, 35.7. The guy just keeps going and going on those soft tyres, and he's 6 seconds behind mid-seat. What he needs to do is open that gap up to Joshua, but he isn't. Joshua isn't getting left behind. Joshua's staying within the DRS activations just in case Kush decides not to pit. Is now facing time penalty to Pelzeri. So Pelzeri, seemingly, it's all kind of gone tits up for the last 4 laps, at least half 4 laps. Irish Racing's now is over a second back now. So Thomas looks safe for that position. And let's see what Joshua is still behind. He's a second back as well. So everyone's pretty spaced out as it stands. 5.4 seconds separating Kushmania, who actually is on the hunt on mid-seat, but I still think he's going to have to pit. Unless he's actually conserving those tyres of his, I'm pretty sure he's going to have to pit again. I don't see him doing, 19 laps on those softs. I don't think that's really possible. So I expect he'll have to make another stop in this race, and he's getting time on Josu, so he's getting the gap out. If he pits, he's going to come out probably around where Pelzeri is. So probably behind Pelzeri, so he needs to kind of go on basically an absolute masterclass of fast laps. Let's see if he does another fast lap of the race here. Got obviously a lot of life left in those soft tyres. Actually, he is pitting in, so he pits in, and I suspect he'll be going for the softest of the soft he can go for. So here he comes. Joshua just fast up the race, 35.5 for him on the medium. So the medium doing well as well. Thomas has now got a 3-second time penalty as well, so he's going to have to be battling for Irish Racing for that position. And I don't think Irish Racing is going to battle in that hard. But look, Mania in the pits. Let's see what tyres he goes for. And it's a set of softs once again. On his way he goes. And let's see where he comes out. So Maestro coming out. He's going to be behind Maestro. He's going to be behind Pelzeri. It'll be a fight. He actually be in front. He's into P7 now. And now he's going to be making the comeback through the field. So this is going to give us our excitement for the rest of the race, I think. He probably, from where he is, I think he can get maybe Chris Macca-Jones. Get into P4 potentially, but maybe that might be the end of that run, and the top 3 might stay as they are. So Missy would be pretty relieved to see that the guy who was chasing him down has pitted, and he can just relax and keep the gap where it is. Watching with Chris with this, actually Thomas is still battling away with Irish Racing. He doesn't seem to be able to get rid of that Renault driver, but the Renault driver isn't going to make an attempt. So he's staying with him. He can try and go around the outside. He's on the grass, and he's going to lose grass on his tyres. It just sucks you in, and he's cut that. And I think he's frustrated. I think he's really frustrated that he's done that. He's going to spin it into the wall, is he? He is! Ow! He's lost his front wing, and that might be it for his race, and he has retired. Very frustrating for him, and I think he's just frustrating, really. But there you go. 10 runners remaining. Red Bull currently in P10, and he's a good 28 seconds back. But Fishmania has got past Maestro. We missed that as we saw Thomas crash out of the race. But now Fishmania is down in P6. He's got a little bit of breathing space to the next car ahead, which is Bronson. I'm going to keep with this. Maestro is still there. He's closing in, but yeah, he isn't going to realistically get past him here. But we'll see. We'll keep with this. Is our tightest gap of the race so far. This is our left session, so pretty frustrated with that indeed, I'd suggest. But look at that. The grip that Monia's got on those soft tyres is insane. So he's going to be pulling that gap to Maestro, and he's going to be getting into that gap of Brumson and the two Ferrari boys who are in P4 and P5, which once again, both of them making superb recovery drives in this race. They were down in the order, had a very bad first few corners, and they've come back from down out of the points into P4 and P5, and that's showing that they are probably the best team, got the best driver pairing in terms of consistency this season so far. But now, Mania is on the hunt for Brumson. 1.4, and it's closing so quickly. So this man is the one to watch here as Brumson's coming increasingly under pressure. He's got a good gap to Chris. He's 2.5 seconds back, so Chris isn't completely dispatched of him. which is that basically P4 I think is definitely on. Prince season actually the fastest lap of the race, 35.3, matched by Josh season at 35.2. So those top two are really pushing it out there on their tyres and putting in the fastest lap of the race. Both of them having a well of a time and pushing their cars to the absolute limit. But now Mania 1.1 now behind the two Ferrari drivers. Mania's in the fastest lap of the race, 34.1. So he's absolutely flying on those softs. And you can see earlier with the softs they're doing, doing 6 fastest laps. He did 6, 7 fast laps consecutively. So a lot of life in those soft tyres and give you a lot of grip. Chris Mania 6/10 behind Brumson now, and he's going to be challenging him so fast. He's going to ride on board with the Sauber driver, and he's challenging the Ferrari driver for that top 5 here. He slows right big time in the braking zone. He's going to try and get a good run here. He's in the slipstream. He isn't going to make a move yet, I think, for the left-hander. He's in the dirty air. Now the right-hander down in the 4th. And you see how much grip he's got. He's getting so held up by Brumson here. He's a good run from the left-hander, but does he bide his time from the DRS activation? I think he will. He'll bide his time for that long back straight. He's looking for the inside, but he won't be able to do it so far. And now he heads to the left-hander and the long right-hander. Needs a good run here. Keeps it in 3rd gear. He's on the inside. He's going to be patient, be very careful. And Brumson needs a lot of racing room here, as now Mania has got the run. He's in the slipstream. He's in the DRS. He's going to use the ERS. Goes to the left-hand side. And he's going to be in the move pretty much done for the Ferrari driver. The Sauber driver. As the Ferrari driver fights back. Brumson on the inside. Left-hand side for the Sauber driver. He's going around the outside. And now Mania back into P5. So what a battle for P5 that was. Brumson can stay with him. He's going to have the DRS. But he's not got the exit he wants from the last corner. Is he going to close back up? He's in the DRS. He's closing in. But it's not going to be enough. We'll watch him through the first couple of top corners. But I think Mania's got that move done. So P5 for the Sauber driver. He's like 2.9 seconds back from Chris. He's going to be eating into that margin. And I'll tell you what, Chris Mania is going to try absolutely everything he can to try and get onto the podium. Chris is 5.4 seconds back from Jamie. So realistically, Chris Mania is going to find a second lap on Jamie to actually get onto that podium. But he can still do it, He's got a lot younger tyres than anybody else. On the softer compounds compared to everybody else, it's still possible for Kush. He can still get the podium, and he's really closing in on that gap to Chris, and Chris is going to be feeling it anytime soon. But yeah, this is the main battle to watch. It's been a fantastic performance from Chris Mania. And actually all the guys, superb job mid-season, a good job from straight off the bat. Controlled the race, managed it, done superb. Josu, great result so far, doing well, managing it. Jamie in P3 going to get his first podium of the year, doing superb. Chris, P4, great comeback. Mania doing a fantastic comeback as well on the different strategy. Brumson doing a good comeback as well. So those top 6 have absolutely done great jobs in this race. Oh, great rise from all of them. Chris Mania now heading to the last corner, 1.7 behind Chris. And he's going to be getting a distance to 34.1 for the Sauber driver. So he's absolutely horning in on that gap to Chris. And Chris will be feeling that pressure as he'll see the Sauber become ever more apparent in his mirrors. Head through the first sector for this time around. 5 more laps to go in this race. And it's looking to be a McLaren win for Mid-C. A win that he's wanted all season long. And he's looking to be pretty much confirmed for that. But this is our main watch here. Mania versus Chris, and Mania now 1.4 behind the Ferrari driver as they head through the fast left and right handers, and it's looking very good for the Sauber driver. They get some 12 points in this race. It's a challenge for 4th place. Chris won't give up with a fight though. We've seen it in Bahrain. Because when Marshall was on the fresh tyres, he really pushed Marshall very hard when Marshall was battling for the win. We head through the left-hander and then a long right-hander here. And let's see, he gets a good exit here. He does get a very good run. And he's going to be in the slipstream and the DRS potentially. And he will have the DRS, does he not? He doesn't have it. So he was a bit far behind from the actual activation point. He will have the, I'm sure he should have DRS the next time around, but he's gone pretty deep in that corner, but he can just brake so much more later than Chris. and that's the problem Chris has got. So head through the last corner we go. Let's see if Chris has got the DRS. He will have it this time round, and he's so close now. He's 6/10 behind Chris now. He's in the slipstream, and I think he's saving the ERS. He isn't pushing the ERS. He knows it's not the best opportunity, so he's being very calculated with when he's going to make the move stick. Chris seemingly struggling on those medium compound tyres, and we actually are going to run on board with the Sauber driver. And let's see what he can do. Can he get a good exit from this second corner? He does get a good run. He's going to be in the slipstream once again, but he's just saving that ERS. So when it comes to it, when he wants to make that move, he has that ERS charge to make the move from Chris. Chris, again, much better on the brakes for Pushmania. In the slipstream once again. We head through the left-right sections, very fast sections, and you can enjoy it as you race these cars. They've got so much grip in these corners. Double right-hander coming up next. Really important for the Sauber driver to get the move done here. He's closing so much. He's got so much grip in comparison to the Ferrari driver now. As he's got a good run here. Won't make a desperate lunge here. He'll wait for that DRS zone, as a lot of these drivers do. Now gets for a long right-hander. Wants to get the best exit possible. He's got a very good run here. He's in the slipstream and he's in the toe. We're going to run on board with the Sauber driver as he hits the slipstream. He's got 4% on the DRS. He's going to use the ERS. He's going to use the DRS. And he's going to use the rich mix. He's going to use everything he's got. Get the left-hand side of Chris Jones, and he has got that move done, I would say. But Chris is going to go on the inside. He's going to try it, but Chris is on the outside, and Chris got the move done. But can Chris get the move back on him? I don't think he can. He needs a good exit from the last corner. And here he comes. Last corner, got a good run. And you know what? He's got a fantastic run as Chris. Here's the DRS using the ERS. This is the left-hand side. And he's going around the outside. Can he get the move done? He's on the outside. He's still on the outside. Keeping the room to the Sauber driver. The Sauber driver defends everything he's got. And he's got the move done. So, Chris made it into P4. Chris trying his absolutely hardest. But he just doesn't have the grip on those medium compound tyres to fight back on the Sauber driver. And Chris is still in P4. But can Chris get back on him? He cannot. He was closing up. It's not possible. We'll keep with this and see if Chris can somewhat stay with him and onto the next straight, but I think Chris is going to start pulling it away. Chris, 5 tenths behind, 6 tenths behind. The double left-hander once again. And 7 tenths separating the two. So I think Chris might still have the DRS. He will still have the DRS, so he might have a contention. He's a good run. And he's now got a 3-second time penalty, so that might be that battle over, you know. I think he's going to go, you know what, I need to keep this P5 and just keep the gap going. But he won't be pushing in the slipstream, so he actually can keep that P5 ahead of his teammate Bromson. But I think Bromson also has got penalties as well. And once again, Chris is in the DRS, but he's not closing up a hell of a lot. So I think that will be that battle over. I'm pretty sure if Chris can actually get that gap out further. Heads through the last corner, and he's a good run, and he does get a good run indeed. But Chris still in the DRS, so he's still challenging the Sauber driver. So the Sauber driver hasn't completely ditched him, as Bromson's got another 6-second time penalty. So I think Chris is just going to pressurise Chris as much as he can, but it's for the faint-hearted, really, in that sense. But yeah, I think that's pretty much done, and I'm sure Chris will just absolutely, he'll be pushing as hard as he can to try and chase Jamie down. As Burnouts has got a penalty now, he's 3 seconds, but it's not going to matter too much to his overall race time. He's still going to come in with two points in the end anyway, so he'll take that. But now Chris is now over a second back from Cushmania, as Cushmania is going to chase his pursuit onto Jamie, who's 3.2 seconds ahead of him, and 2.9 now, so he's closing it in, and Jamie's going to be feeling that pressure, knowing that the guy behind is on the softer compound, on the younger set of tyres, and ultimately is going to be flying towards the end of the race. The pressure is building for Jamie if he wants to get that podium finish, and Kush, you know, we know how good he is. He was supreme in Australia, and here he's going to be supreme again if he can get this podium back on this different strategy. I thought it was the wrong strategy, but it seems to me that actually it might have been the best, might have been a very good strategy indeed. But it's 3 seconds with 2 laps to go after this one. I think it's going to be pretty hard to get that podium. He's going to hope that basically Jamie makes a mistake. Basically, all we can hope for now, he hopes that as he decreases the gap to Jamie, that he feels the pressure and makes a mistake. That's what he's got to hope for. But now it's all really on Jamie as it stands. But it's been a supreme race, this one. It's been drama from the first lap. Battles everywhere. Sector 1 has been a mistake made by somebody. Someone's made a mistake, and I can't see who it is. And still yellow flags in Sector 1, so let's see. And no one's made a mistake, they're not on my screen anyway. But as I was saying, it's been drama from lap 1, really. Battles everywhere. Really enjoyable to watch this race. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you for sticking around. I know it's a bit boring hearing the same old voice, and my voice is it's dry because for a living I actually work in a call centre, so I'm talking all day, so my voice is pretty much getting to the end. So when you're commentating on your own, you have to commentate the whole race, and you're speaking to people as your day job. On your day job, you've been on the phones as your day job. Your voice is exhausted. So heading into the final couple of laps now, Kush is putting absolutely everything onto Jamie. It's 1.7 seconds now, the gap. But we're looking at mid-C, I think, here as well. But we'll turn them back onto him very soon as he heads to start his final lap of the race. Kush, 1.6 seconds, and he's closed that in by a good 1.2 seconds. He needs a good run out of this last sector. And you know what? He still has a chance at this if he can keep it together. And Jamie's going to be feeling that pressure, and as the gap closes and closes and closes, here's the battle of the race we've got to watch. I'm heading into the final few sectors of this race. But we'll turn our attentions to mid-C, and I'll keep an eye on the Kushmania's and Jamie's gap. But this man here, he's completed the first sector for the final time. He's been absolutely in control of this race, and he's been great from the start as Arch Racing's getting the 5 seconds go penalty, but it doesn't matter. He's still to come home in 10th place for some points. But mid-C has controlled it from the start of the race. He took the pole position, a fantastic pole position for him. Very close, 6 thousandths was the gap. From then onwards, it was wet conditions, and it could have got in his way, but he didn't let it get in his way. And this man is heading towards a first victory of the season, a well-deserved victory. He's been coming all season, he's had the pace all season. Australia, he had the pace. Bahrain, he had the pace. But once again, this man is looking to take some great strides towards the championship, and this could put him on top. As he heads down the final straight for the final time, it's been a superb drive from the McLaren driver. He can be absolutely just happy. We'll see how he is in the post-race interviews. Heads through the penultimate corner for the final time. It's going to be a great win for McLaren driver, a well-controlled win, a well-deserved win. Through the final corner he comes. He is going to be a race winner this season. He's the 3rd different winner in ILRF2, and what a win for mid-C in P1. P2 for Josu, he'll be happy with that as well. P3 for Jamie, but look at this, it's a battle we want to watch. It goes to the line, and Jamie looks to be able to hold on to that P3. Is it going to be depending on penalties? And Jamie does keep hold of it by 0.4 of a second, and Kushmania is going to be absolutely gutted. Chris Macajones in P5. P6 for Brumpson. He's good points for the Ferrari boys once again, taking home 18 points. Maestro, disappointed, I would say, with that. Probably wanted more out of that race. They'll take it. Good points. Pelzeri, again, I'd suggest probably a bit disappointed. But solid points for the Haas driver once again. And he comes across the line to take home 4 points. For Burnouts in P9 and RH Racings, that will be it. So that is it for the race here in China. That's the race done and dusted. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and we'll prepare for our post-race interviews. But that was good. I really enjoyed that race. Solid race from, I think, the top 6 have all been deserving of those positions they stayed in. They came in. And we'll try and get the top 3 as we see mid-C celebrate his victory. And he's fully deserved that all season long. It's superb, really. Those top 3, well deserving. The control. I mean, particularly Josu, Jamie, and mid-C. I think that's a really good podium for me. And all 3 of them deserve to be on podium. And even Kushmania came very close at the end. Was very close to, but wasn't able to do it in the end. But we'll go through the final results, which will come on screen any moment now. There you go. There are your final results for the Chinese Grand Prix. Mizzy takes the win ahead of Josu in P2, Jamie in P3, Kushmania in P4, P5 for Kushmaka Jones, and P6 for Bromson. And those two Ferrari boys are playing fourth in the Constructors Championship. P7 for Maestro, P8 for Chassis Burnouts, and P9 for AOL Pelleri, and P10 for Irish Racing, who takes the final point. Those who are not classified: Thomas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Joker in P12, ILL Bibin, Dasfell, Revolutions, Ansmaz, Bong and Bonkers rounds out the final finishes. So there you go, guys. That has been this race. I am going to try and get Midseat into the party and Josu and Jamie, if I can. Let's just find them. We'll do the post-race interviews, which I don't prepare for. I do it all on the spot. So this is what we do. Just bear with me a second. Invited Midseat. Josu. You alright, buddy?
Right.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just inviting everybody else to the post-race interviews.
So I'll give Jamie an invite.
Awesome, man.
Hopefully that was good to watch.
Oh my god, my voice is just dead.
Yeah, on your own again.
Yeah.
Give Josu an invite as well.
Yeah, I've invited him. I'll try and do it again. Fight between Jamie and Kushmania at the end of the race, man. It was
Yeah,
tight.
I was in a party with Jamie there. He enjoyed that. Jamie.
He deserved that podium. Deserved that super drive. Just try and get the other two in if they can.
Yeah, hopefully. I've invited both of them as well, so hopefully they do join.
Hopefully. Yeah. Players. We'll give it a few minutes. I might have gone for a toilet or something.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, Jamie's on Do Not Disturb actually. He's not going to see any of this, is he? There we go.
Jamie has now joined. Let's see if Joshua joins. Right, Jamie. Hello. Try and invite Josu. And then hopefully we can get the podium interviews underway. If not, we'll just progress. Let's try and get Josu again.
Yeah, that's right. Make sure your audio's included, Jamie.
Yeah. That race was so hard to keep up with, man. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was there, especially with the wet at the start as well.
Yeah.
Had quite a few DNFs as well, sadly.
Yeah, not everyone finished. I think we had like 7 DNFs. 10 finished in the end. Kind of went dead when the first round of pit stops happened. The slicks, because Kush went on a different strategy. He went for 2 soft stints, whereas you guys went on the mediums for the end, which I thought was the preferred strategy. But we saw Kush was pumping the laps towards the end and just really going mega quick.
Yeah, he was trying hard for that podium, especially after where he started as well. Done well.
Yeah, superb. Come on, Josu. I'll give him another minute. If not, we'll just progress with you two.
Yeah, it was quite spaced out after that one of the first pit stops. Then Kushmania was on the charge, obviously on the softs as well.
Yeah. Try one more time.
Hopefully he does join, because he was really consistent in that race as well.
Yeah, it was superb. I'll say it now, I'll say it again. You top 3, you guys deserved top 3. You guys worked really hard for it. Missy put it on pole, and Jamie did superb to keep hold. You know, you kept superb to keep Kushmania back, who was flying at the end. And Jossie put in again a great performance as well. So you 3 again. Every time we've had this season so far, the top 3 deserve to be the top 3 in my opinion. Just faultless drives.
Yeah.
I might give Josu 2 more minutes, and if he doesn't come, we'll just we'll start. I don't want to leave it too long.
Yeah, hopefully he hasn't just gone. It'd be nice to see what he had to say.
He's chatting in the ILRF2 chat. Probably isn't. Oh Jesus.
Didn't look too laggy from what you saw either. Rapids, did it? Or
No, lag was good. Chris was actually alright, because I think Chris has been laggy on people's screens in recent events, but he seemed to be alright in the race today. So things pretty settled in terms of the host. Obviously, you hosted it, didn't you, Midzi? So yeah, seems to be the connection was pretty good today. So that's awesome.
Hopefully you're not on your own next week either. Save his catch your breath a little bit.
Yeah, I hope Thomas can be available. He's been available, but I think his Xbox Live ran out today, even though he thought he paid for it. And last week he couldn't get online because of internet. So it's been me on my own. And obviously with my day job, I work in a call center. So you're talking to people all the time. Get home, another 2 hours of commentating. You kind of want somebody to be there, but no, it's on my own. So just my voice is on the. I'll probably have some sort of like voice problem. Okay, Josu can't join. He just DM'd me, said he can't join the group because he's had to leave.
Alright.
Is there anything you would like to say about you would like to say about your race? For me to say on stream for you. There you go. Right, we'll just go for it, lads. Right. So here's a podium interviews for this race. Midsi, coming to you first of all. Solid race. I think it's the race that you've kind of wanted all season long. You've kind of deserved the race victory. Been chasing it, and finally today's the day. So just sum up your emotions with race victory at China.
Yeah, thank you. Well done to Jamie and Josu once again. Was really happy with that actually. I didn't think I'd have the pace to put it on pole for a start, but saw it was wet as well. Didn't think I'd have the pace I did in the wet, but overall I really enjoyed it. Obviously there was some battling at the start, it helped me get away, and after that I just tried to keep consistent, but it went really well. It was a really enjoyable race, and not much more I can say.
Yeah, superb from the get-go. Your qualifying lap, you put the banker down in qualifying with sort of 4 minutes to go, and that was the lap that no one could beat. So in qualifying, describe your feelings after qualifying as well. How did you feel when you put that bunker down, and ultimately that qualifying lap made your race, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I wasn't expected to put it on pole either from that banker lap because I timed it wrong, so I wanted to come in and obviously go back out again. But I managed to put in obviously a good enough lap just about. But yeah, the top five are really close on pace,
Yeah.
but it was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a great qualifying session and a great race by yourself, a great management drive, and for the championship, that puts you in a good position there as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I think Chris Mack was leading, but I think I might just take the lead for now. But we have to see how it goes in Baku, of course.
That's great. Thank you for that, Mizzy. Jamie, on to you. Great race,
Uh,
buddy. Great race,
Thanks.
buddy, mate. That was tight with you and Kush towards the end there, but you managed it. He was on the
Yeah.
softs and he was chasing you down like hell. Just talk to me about your race from the start and how you felt towards the end.
I had decent qualifying anyway, 4 place, but I thought I could get higher anyway. Had enough start, I got bogged down, and I lost a few positions, but I gained them back in the first few corners then anyway. And then after that, I kind of pulled away from my teammate and Ferrari, so I had a fairly quiet stint on the inters, but then when I pitted, I had a few cars kind of behind me, but I pulled away again. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I got my first points of the season anyway.
Yeah.
And to the end, I suppose I was fairly nervous, but Cushmania right behind me for most of it. But I held him off anyway, and I was fairly happy with it.
Yeah, congrats, buddy. And that pressure must have been absolutely extreme when you saw him just chasing you down in those final laps. Just how did you keep it together? Like, how did you mentally just go, right, can't let him get past me? For you, what was going through your head to keep it all together?
Well, I suppose I kept it clean for most of the race, so I said just do the same for the last lap. So yeah, that was really it.
And that worked fantastically well for you, and you got the podium that you deserved this season.
Yeah.
Haas as well, coming away with good points in the Constructors' Championship as
Yeah.
well. They've 22 points on the board because you've got Pelzeri, he did well. His race was a bit up and down. He had good qualifying,
Yeah.
but slipped down the order, but still delivered the points as well. So it puts Haas in a good position in the Constructors' Championship behind Ferrari as well, doesn't it?
Thank you.
I think that is it. What I will say is Josu has told me to congratulate both of you boys on the race. He was
Yeah.
trying to. I was hoping for you, Mincy, to make a mistake. It was a good race from my point of view, and he sends you congratulations. So that is what he had to say about the race, as he couldn't be here. But I think we'll round it off here, boys. I hope you have all enjoyed it. Thank you to everybody has watched the stream today, and thank you for putting up with my voice and the same tone of voice throughout the whole race. But I tried my best, and I hope it was entertaining for you guys to watch. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week for the fourth race of the season.